I'll hit record. Thank you all for joining me for this week's Talkadot AMA section, Ask Me Anything. For those of you who've never been on one of these sessions, this session is all about you getting your questions answered. If you've got some, I want to do this on Talkadot and I'm not sure how to do it, I'm confused, I'm about to give my first talk for the first time, I want to do it correctly. I just gave a talk and I want to do the post-event stuff correctly. What suggestions do you have? This is all about getting your questions answered. If you have any questions about the speaking industry, any questions about our tool, no question is off limit. Myself and the entire community here, we will do our best to support you. Some people like to come to these sessions because they have a specific question. Some people like to come to these sessions just to listen and hear what's happening in the speaking industry and keep their pulse, their finger on the pulse of things. For those of you who don't know, we created a really, really cool trends report. The trends report is we analyze 10,000 speaking engagements and find out when people are booking, what they're looking for, how they're looking for it. So if you've not gotten that yet, and you'd like it to keep your finger on the pulse, be so kind as to leave a Google review. Let us know you left a Google review in the community, and we'll send you that report as a thank you. It's got some really specific language and some really specific things that will help you grow your business. So, with that said, we're going to go into our first question, which Julie has her hand up. So, we're going to go with Julie. If you would like to ask a question, just click on the React button and then raise your hand, and it'll look like that. And then you'll get into the queue, and we'll answer all your questions. So, with that said, Julie, what's up?
So, Arel, I'm a speaker manager as well as a speaker, and one of my clients, we use SpeakerFlow, we use Talkadot Pro, and she got like 17 leads from an engagement, which was fantastic. Followed up on all of them. People are opening the emails. I can see they're opening, but they don't respond for the most part.
Mhm.
And worked really hard on customizing it, what's in it for me, use some of your template wording. So what do you suggest? I mean, I'm happy that the open rate is like probably 90%, but I'd
Mhm.
like to get some responses back too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Biggest thing that we notice is if someone, do you have links in the email for people to click on to like schedule a meeting or anything like that?
Yes.
Perfect. So first thing we do is always look for who clicks on it, right? So there's opens and there's clicks. You should be able to track opens and clicks. So I always prioritize anyone who's clicked because that shows interest, and anyone who's opened. As a rule of thumb, I like to do 5 follow-ups before I feel any emotions whatsoever, right? I don't expect anything on the first, second, or third email. The other thing that I found, which is just it just has been working, is actually calling people, picking up the phone and calling people. So like we sent the email, and the way that I always look at outbound outreach when we do an outreach is that it is important to us, but it may not yet be urgent to them. So the important urgent decision matrix, right? Most people make decisions based on how urgent something feels, not necessarily how important something actually is. So if you look at your life, you look at your to-do list, there's probably things like, oh no, I'm not saying you've done this, but like tax season, like April 15th is coming. I know it's important to do my taxes, but if I could push it off so that I can do something else that's more urgent, I will do that. I find that when you escalate leads, especially hot leads, to a phone call, and you call them up and say, "Hey, Julie here. I represent, Speaker X. I saw that you expressed interest in booking her to speak. Shot you an email. Just wanted to make sure the email went through. Is now a good time to talk, or would you like to schedule a time?" I tend to find that the phone call escalates something from important to urgent, because if you're calling me, then now it's like I've got to respond. So I would encourage you just to pick up the phone, call folks, and then see what those conversations are like. And I would always start with clicks first, because that's most like interesting. And then ideally, if you can match them to if they're an AI verified lead. So do you know the difference between a booking lead and an AI verified lead? Right. So I always like to, because if someone says, I want to book you March 25th for this event, and I sent an email and they opened it and they clicked it, my phone call, it's always a welcome phone call. It's always like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling me. And it escalates it from important to urgent. And I would give that a try and see how that goes, and then come back and let me know if that doesn't work. But again, 5 touch points before you feel anything emotional. If someone clicks, give them a phone call and see what they say.
Yeah, I do the phone call on the second attempt.
Hmm.
Of course, as we know, people don't really answer the phone anymore. So 80% of the time it's voicemail, or they didn't supply a phone number when
Yep.
they filled out the Talkadot form too. But yes, I do phone calls, and if they answer it,
Great.
sometimes do have success with that.
Yeah, and that's great. And I'm also a big advocate too of like omni-channel outreaches. So I'll do an email, I'll do a phone call, I'll also do a LinkedIn. So I LinkedIn request people. And what I tend to find is if they just keep seeing my face in a short enough period of time and my name, it escalates it. I also am a big fan of Loom videos too. Do you use Loom or Vidyard or BombBomb or something like that by chance?
Well, my client is an AI expert, so
Oh,
she'll
cool.
use like Avatar. She just created one in Canva.
Great.
So yeah,
So
she
yeah, if you got a
does.
video option, like so I use Loom, so you can use whatever. I'm sure there's cooler ones now than Loom, right? So if there's an AI avatar one, but sending a video like, "Hey, what's going on, Josie? It's Arel Moodie. Thanks so much for attending my presentation." Or if you're making it, just an omni-channel, multi-touch point always is effective. So if you can text, text. If you can call, call. If you can LinkedIn, LinkedIn. If you can Zoom, and I tend to find that if I get a short enough period of time, touch points, and multiple things, I'm always trying to escalate it from important to urgent. And then sometimes people will say, "Hey, I got nothing right now, but like reach out in 90 days." And it's easier to ignore something than to say that. So I would rather know than not know. So these are my like kind of best practices for getting people to respond. And then it's just repeat, 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 really.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Send me one of those AI videos. I want to see I want to see how good they've gotten because I know I saw an AI avatar video like a year ago and it was like good enough, but you could tell it wasn't like just right. And I haven't really looked into it since. So if it's gotten way better, I'd love to see what's out there if you're willing to
Yeah,
share.
Hey Gen is a really good AI tool.
I've heard of HeyGen. I've heard of HeyGen. Okay, cool. Thank you, Julie. Hopefully that was helpful. Awesome. Who would like to ask the next question? I could also stare at y'all. I could tell dad jokes too.
I'll ask a question. Sorry, I
What's
didn't
up?
raise my hand. I had to choose hand
You're
raise or
all
unmute.
good. I was about to do some dad jokes, so you saved everybody.
No, I mean I don't think I saved everyone. Your jokes are great. Everybody saw the video, right?
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Okay, so my question is about sizzle reels.
Mhm,
Right? So I know you were talking earlier about the fact that we need to have something that's longer that really
mhm,
showcases like us as a speaker. But then when it comes to that first sizzle reel that gets them attracted enough to go see it, my question is two part because I'm having my first one made right now and I'm giving the
great.
guy feedback.
Yeah.
And I can't decide what I want the end to be. Right?
The end.
Actually, this is a
Mhm,
bookend question. So like when he first made it, the beginning was like a news clip and they're introducing me and then it
mhm,
goes to me. And I was like, no, 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 no. I want it to start with me saying joy is the foundation of goal setting, not the reward. So he switched it. And then the end, like I just want to make sure that there's like a clear call to action. So do you have any
mhm.
recommendations for the end? And then also, did I do the wrong thing? I can have him switch the beginning back.
Mhm. Yeah, great question. So there's the end and the very, very end. So I'll give you kind of both just to make sure I'm covering it. So the very, very end should be a call to action. Contact, you know, whoever at whatever is your contact. So it's like a direct call to action, like email, phone call, website, go here to book, right? Like it's got to be a really clear, direct call to action. Because if I watched it and I'm excited, my next question is make it easy for me. What do I do next? So the very, 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 very end is that. Typically, what you want to end on is something in terms of content. You want to end on something that's, an emotional high, super funny, like if you have a wow quote or a feeling that makes me go, oh my goodness, like if you can find a clip that achieves that, because you want to always end on a high note. The same way in the keynote, we want to end on a high note. You want to end on a high note on the video. So saying that statement in the beginning, I think is actually like fine. And then it could transfer into like, the news montage, if you will. What my video editor told me, who was a very, very skilled video editor, probably one of the like top 1% in video editors for speaker demo reels. He said that he's always looking for statements that state something but doesn't give the answer. So it might say something like this. Out of all of my travels working with leaders, the one thing that I constantly see showing up over and over and over again is, and then it fades to the next part. So it's like you're stating something big and it makes the audience go, I want to know what that is. There's one factor for high performing teams that separates them from low performing teams. And we did this incredible research. And what we found is, and then it fades to like, so you don't have to end with that, but having, he was like, and then he said, when you speak, some of us naturally don't speak like this, but if you're ever recording content, if you're ever going to record content for your demo, saying things like, I want to cover 3 really important ideas with you. The first idea is blah, 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 blah. The second idea, because when you create those really clean kind of moments, they cut really well in the demo video. So they can add in, the first thing I want to share with you is leadership. Let me show you how to do this now, and then it fades. The second thing I want to show you, so those things are really great, like sound bites and build in from what I remember what my editor told me. But you didn't ask about those things. I was just sharing it because hopefully it was helpful. So at the end, call to action. Here's how you can book me. And then right before the end, find something that ends on a funny, high note, emotional high note that's relevant to your work. And that's great. Yep.
Okay, the mute button didn't want to work. Thanks for waiting. So, okay, that is super helpful. And I'm glad you covered all those different aspects because I can incorporate that and do some of it now, some of it next time. So when you say like essentially the cliffhanger, right? So should I maybe just have him cut after I say joy is the foundation? And then it goes into all my video, and my video is talking about joy, goals, and purpose. That's what I talk about. Instead of saying the full statement, joy is the foundation of goal setting.
Ideally, so saying that I think as an opening is good because what you
Okay,
need in the opening is a hook, right? So in the
right.
same way, every video needs a hook to the intro. So what my video editor, his name is James, what he told me is that a statement that's kind of, unique to you, contrarian,
Mm.
so like my video starts with, geez Louise, hold on, it's on my profile. I can just actually share it with you.
Oh, this is good because I did search and look at some of yours, but you have a ton.
Yeah, this is
So
the
this
one
will-
that my guy did. Let me share my screen here. So he started with so he looked at a lot of my video and he started with this one. Your organizations only have 2 problems. You've got profit problems and you've got people problems. That's it. Therefore, your organization will only go as far as your people.
I love it. I get it.
Right. So it's kind of like a big statement. And it's like, hey, you think there's only 2 problems that exist, and your organization will only go as far as your people take it. So that's kind of like my statement that kind of ideally would cause people to go, oh, I never thought about that way. So like your joy statement, I think is actually a pretty good one because it's like, this is the foundation of it. So it's like, this is my like flag in the sand, and now let me show you why. So I think it's pretty good.
Okay, thank you. I can't wait to share it with you all.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I see Marcia. Is it Marcia or Marcia?
It's Marcia.
Marcia, I knew that. I was testing you to see if you would see.
Testing me.
I got it.
42 years of testing. I get it. I
I
get it.
got
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcia. I was like, oh, I can't confirm with full confidence.
Well, I sometimes I can't put the accent on certain text. Like here, I can't write an accent in Zoom, right? But it's all on my branding and everything. The accent on my eye makes it Marcia.
I knew that. I was testing you. 42
So
years of success.
I don't really have as much as a question. I mean, I
Yeah.
got introduced to Talkadot through SpeakerFlow. I invested in it last year, right when I got laid off at my corporate job. So I decided to just invest all my time into building my speaking business, and it's been really good. I used it for the first time in Vegas, ironically,
Nice.
and I spoke in Vegas on a Tuesday morning and spoke in Tampa back home on a Wednesday morning. So I had two back to back, which was really great. And I got like 13 to 15 responses out of both rooms right out of the gate. So
Awesome.
it was really easy. I didn't even look at how to do it. I just read the other day, like your option 1, 2, and 3 of how to present it. I didn't even do it. I just put it up there and was like, hey, if you want a free ebook, fill this out.
Hey,
And
that works.
it worked out, and I got some good feedback. So I'm very new, but it was very easy to use. So just appreciate the feasibility of it. Obviously, I have all this integration that is now built into my CRM, which I have not
Mhm. Yeah, it could move
grappled with.
over from Talkadot to Speakerflow and get automated and
It's in there.
tailor.
It's all in there though. It
Is great.
physically exists right now as leads, but turning those into real, opportunities is the next step.
Hmm.
I have a big website update, so I redid my whole website. So I'm trying to kind of like I'm in this weird like website launch that builds out
Yep.
this email marketing. So do I want to like send it to them now, or so I'm so close to the end.
I
So
know
I'm kind of like
exactly.
in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to be in this weird like, do I send them
I'm
pushing to
actually in
them
the
now?
exact same weird place as you, if it makes you feel better. I'm actually doing a brand new speaker website that I've
Mhm,
been working on for like 6 months. So we're in the
mhm.
final probably 4 weeks of it. And I'm like, I don't like that because now I know what the new one looks like.
Right,
And I'm
right.
like, I don't want people to see my like you can come see my old one now, but the new one's gonna be so fire.
Yeah,
So
but here's the thing. I went from a modeling website to a fashion and architecture blog to I just revamped Squarespace really quick to talk the ad that I just do speaking now. So it doesn't even show a real speaking website. So it's really just more of like a landing page, right? And so the news website is really geared towards speaking, and so that's why I'm at
yeah.
this.
I mean, what I would if I were in your shoes, I would definitely touch point. And when I say touch point, send an email, a LinkedIn request, a message to everyone who's seen you speak because they don't need the website as much. They've
Right.
already seen the
Got you. So just putting
and
in the emails and getting them out, just at least
yeah, it's literally
touch
that simple. And
start
it's,
the 5 point.
hey, yeah, thanks
Mhm.
so much for attending my session. You mentioned, interest. Love to talk more. Let's find a time let's schedule a time to talk. It's really that simple, especially when people have seen you. The key
Yeah.
is just, and this is the thing that is the hardest. I have found what I'm about to say is the singular hardest thing for almost every speaker I've met to do, right? Which is when you get a lead that comes in to actually follow up until you get a yes or a leave me alone. That's the hardest thing because no
Mhm.
speaker wants to be um, pestering, right? I don't want to bother people. And then there's the mindset of the positioning. And this is and we can I'm happy to talk about this
Oh,
because it's really fascinating, which
I,
is when you have someone like Julie reaching out on your behalf as your speaker manager and that person's consistent, it feels emotionally better than if I'm the one reaching out because if I'm the expert, I don't want to be the one who looks like I'm chasing and desperate. I want to always maintain a position of high status, but
mm,
I know how the sausage is
yeah.
made, so I've got to do so. Like that's like the hardest thing I think for
I
speakers to have.
think one of the biggest things I learned doing business development in the engineering world is that people forget and people are busy, 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 busy. So for me, I have always recognized in the last 5 or 6 years that people just forget. Even that your best client, they will forget you. So like it takes that constant reminder. I'm very good on LinkedIn about that. I'm always posting like stories and different things. So like I'm always at the top of people's minds. I think that's so I think just translating that into email marketing and sales marketing is going to be probably more worried about the success than the failure.
Yeah, I mean, and
Right? Like
if you
getting too busy.
and since you
But
have biz dev experience, you kind of it's the same every industry in that same. It's always the same,
mhm.
and I think of two things that help me whenever I start going like, oh man, blah, blah, right. So number one is there's an amazing movie that you've seen that you love that's your favorite movie of all time that you've 100% forgotten about. And then
Mhm.
someone mentions that movie and you go, "Oh yeah. I love that. I haven't thought." So like if you could do that to one of your favorite like pieces of
Yeah.
art, like people will do it to us, right? So, and it's not that they don't love us or like us, it's just that it's just the human condition, right? Like we have a favorite movie and it's like, oh my gosh, like Spirit Away, I haven't thought about that movie in forever. It's the best movie ever, right? And then the
But
second
with
thing,
that, I think I do have a question then,
yeah, please.
if you don't mind.
No, please.
So as I'm building out these sales marketing campaigns and these email marketing campaigns, the follow-ups of leads, um, you know, understanding everybody's going to have different problems and they're going to take away different things from the speaking engagement that you may not be aware of, right? Like they may not have shared in the feedback or whatever, but how do you create like a consistent message, but solving different problems through those 5 or 6 emails or even just nurturing emails as you're continuing? Like as an engineer, we solved one problem, and that was designing the structure of the building. So like I only had one problem to solve, right? I'm not the architect, I'm not the mechanical engineer, I'm not the plumbing engineer. So as a speaker and as a executive coach, I know there's many different problems people can have. Like in your video, profit versus people. So how do I generate this type of like touch points that seem consistent across the board, but talk about different things at
Yeah,
the same
so
time?
I put a link in the chat, which is a Google document that I would recommend checking out. It's a
Okay.
again, it's a generic 5 email sequence follow up that
Okay.
I've used. I've modified it, but it's kind of the general gist, and it's really less about. Again, these are people that have already seen you speak and already get what you do. So it's less about trying to say, hey, here's how I can solve this particular problem for you. It's more
Mhm.
about, hey, thanks for seeing me speak. Let's, find a time to talk to figure out what we could potentially do. And then your job on
Mm.
the phone call is to uncover what the problem is.
Oh,
Because
I
it's
got you.
like, I saw the yoga instructor. I know that they're an incredible yoga instructor. Now let's talk about how I can't touch my toes, right? They don't have to guess that I can't touch my toes because I know they're amazing at yoga. So they already know you're amazing. So it's less, hey, let's get together and see what we can possibly do. And that's where you go through your discovery, pain, and all the stuff that you know how to do because it
Okay.
translates perfectly into this space.
Okay, I'll take a look at the document, and I apologize. I haven't gone through all the resources on the pro version yet,
There's
so
so many. There's so
I
many.
know. I
Don't worry.
figured.
Don't
So,
worry. This is what you come on, you ask, I'll point you in the direction of what you'll need and hopefully streamline it. We have a lot of stuff for you to help you succeed. But if there's ever something you're looking for, there's a good chance we have something. And if we don't, we'll create it if we can. So hopefully that helps.
all right, I'll
Thank you,
give back
Marcia.
my time.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Neil, what's up, brother?
If you don't hear back after the 5 email sequence, what's next?
I would recommend a phone call within the 5 email sequence, right? So some people don't like phone calls, and I totally respect that. I totally get that. I would probably shoot an email around the third email if I haven't gotten a response. And the phone message is, "Hey, I shot you a couple of emails. I'm not sure if they've been making it through. Could you let me know if they have? And if so, is now a good time to talk, or should we schedule something?" The reason why is your emails could be going to spam. They may never received your email. So I'll send 5 emails, but I may not get them. So step number one is the 5 emails is kind of like just do this, don't think about it. Just kind of just do it, right? The second thing is that omni channel that I was mentioning to Julie earlier in the call, where LinkedIn requests people. Send them a Loom video. If you have their cell phone, text them. If you're not sure if it's their cell phone, text them anyway, right? Like, so if you actually hit people in multiple channels, it's more likely that you cut through the noise and you move from, as I was referencing, that important category to the urgent category. We can ignore emails, and I mean, I don't know if you've done it, Neil, but I know I've unfortunately done it where I've just ignored emails. Not because I dislike them. It's just I got so many things going on. I can't get to this email. I'll get to it later. And then I totally forget to get to it. And it has nothing to do with my interest level. It's just important, not urgent. And then when something becomes urgent, you take, like, it's like taxes. There's lots of people that just push their taxes off, push their taxes off, push their taxes off until it becomes urgent, until something makes it urgent. So our job is to either get a yes or a no, or as Dan Kennedy lovingly says, the third option is they die. But that's it. You're going until you get a yes, no, or find out that they're dead. And that level of tenacity is, it's that's what I would encourage. So even though you send the 5 emails, omni-channel, hit them from different approaches just so you're relevant. And again, you just want to get a yes, no, or later as a secret third option, or you find out it's a little morbid that they're dead, but I think you get the sentiment of it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Neil.
Arel, I have a question, but I can't raise my hand for some reason. I think I need to
Uh,
update Zoom.
I don't know why, but I got your back.
I'll raise it here in the flesh. Hi. So I've used Talkadot a few times, and I've had a lot of luck getting people, willing to give me their information and a lot of positive testimonials. Um, it hasn't turned into the kind of follow-up business, right? I mean, this is a theme, right? And you're pumping me up to be more persistent. That's one thing. But I guess my question is, so I mostly speak to women conferences, women empowerment groups. I'm going to be in front of 250 women that work in the automotive industry in a couple months, and I've been thinking about what's the best offer to give them, the best next thing to lead them into. I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching and speaking, and a lot of times I think I've been sort of trying to lead them into the one-on-one coaching, and I've decided, whether it's true or not, that maybe it's a big leap to go from seeing me on stage with all the lights and all the razzle dazzle to be like, I want to speak to her one-on-one about my innermost, demons. So that hasn't translated, it doesn't seem. And what I currently offer as my freebie through Talkadot is sort of a deeper dive on limiting beliefs and sort of a workbook they can do in their own time. So I'll stop there. I'm just sort of trying to think about what the best offer or sort of journey might be.
Yeah. So when you do the coaching offer, walk me through what questions are on your survey, your Talkadot survey, and how do
Yeah.
you present it when you
Well, that's that therein lies the problem. I'll be honest, I'm going to be upgrading any minute now so I've reached my max as far as the sort of free version.
sure, sure.
So I'll be able to be more specific about those questions. I think that's part of the thing, right? It's been a little more, do you want to hire me for more speaking, maybe versus coaching? Um,
Mhm.
and I want both, right? So that's part of the thing too. I want more speaking to come of it, but I want that woman that's sitting in that individual to also feel like she could utilize me as a coach.
Yeah, so couple of things, right? So I just quickly jumped into your account and I can see a little hinge that could swing a big door for you. Okay.
Right.
So I didn't ask you for permission to jump in, but I think you're
I
fine if
gave
I
it.
if I'm helpful, right? So one of your question is want to learn more about one-on-one coaching or team coaching with Amanda.
Okay.
And then that is a long answer field. That's how you kind of added that question. Now,
Mm.
you have the ability to actually add multiple choice questions. So, what I would encourage you to do is number one, there was two questions in that question. Are you interested in one-on-one or team? That can create a little like cognitive dissonance of like, wait, I don't want to say the wrong thing, right? So I would encourage you to just choose one for this upcoming talk. Are you interested in one-on-one coaching, right? And then I would make one option, yes, please contact me. No, and then a third option could be maybe, right? Like that.
Maybe tell me more, or I want to learn more or
Yeah,
something.
or maybe it depends. I need more information or whatever, right? So
Mhm.
I would make it a three option, and not a because I might go like want to know more. Like, well, what am I supposed to write in here? I'm not. So I could get confused on what to do, and then I kind of nope out. But if I say, "Are you interested in setting up a call?" Yes, no, not right now, or maybe I can need some more information. Everyone who says yes, well, then you just have to contact them and say, "Hey, you said that you were interested. Let's get
Mm.
you on the calendar." And you'll notice that that little hinge will probably swing a bigger door because the user, the person in the audience member can clearly go, I know what I'm opting into and I'm raising my hand more accurately. So I would encourage you to do that.
Okay.
And then if you do decide, of course, we would love you to upgrade to Talkadot Pro, right? Of course we
I will.
would. If you do decide to do that, you can actually alter your lead generation question. So instead of saying, "Do you book paid speakers?" you could change that lead generation question to, "Are you interested in one-on-one coaching?" And then it'll walk them through the same process of, um, could you tell me more about it? You could do that, but I think for what you're doing is I would leave the speaking question, and then I would just add one additional question that says, "Are you interested in one-on-one? Yes, no, or maybe tell me more." And then you'll get a list of that, and then everyone who said yes, you obviously
Mm.
schedule a call. Everyone who said maybe, you said, "Hey, you mentioned maybe. Was there anything you were looking for that I could send you?" A lot of people like to start with this video, and you can send them that, and then from those people, a small percentage will turn into a, "Yeah, let's book the call." So I would try that and then see what happens.
Yeah, okay. And I don't know if you have any thoughts and, around someone like me who is, I mean, I do want more speaking and I do want coaching clients. I mean,
Mhm.
is 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 that a pretty common model or,
Yeah,
way
typically
to
what happens when you have both of those service offerings is to look at the audience and ask yourself, do I think I'm more likely to get speaking opportunities from this audience or coaching clients from this audience?
Mhm.
And I would lean, I would typically, a confused mind doesn't take action. So I would lean towards the one. So for example, if you're speaking to a bunch of women who are not decision makers but are in the professional world, those might be better for one-on-one coaching. But if you're speaking to a lot of women who are in decision making roles, well, that could be, really great for speaking. Then you've got to also ask yourself, which is, unique to you, but if I were in your shoes, I would ask myself, well, which one do I want more of right now? Do I want more speaking? Because the benefit of speaking is you get a lot more money up front. The benefit of coaching is you build a more long tail. So it's like, do I want more of the long tail right now? Or hey, you know what? We got to bump some revenue. We got some revenue right now. We got to bump up the revenue. So
Right.
I would ask yourself that question, but it really for me is more important about who's in the room.
Yeah.
And if I'm speaking to, some mid-level managers who have no decision-making ability, but they're trying to get to that, executive role, well, they may
Mhm.
need some coaching to get over the limiting beliefs so that they can become the person necessary. If I'm speaking to a bunch of directors of HR, well,
Right.
they probably could book me to speak. So
Right. Right.
that's why it's important to do a pre-event call with your client and find out about the makeup of the people in the room. So just ask them, tell me about who's in the room, what kind of, type, I want to build my content around them, and that'll
Mhm.
inform you.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Really helpful.
You're welcome so much. So if you have any challenges with changing the question or anything, let me know, and we're happy to help.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. If anyone else can't raise their hand, you can physically raise your hand, and I'll look at you, and I'll be like, pew. Do you know what happens if you teach a wolf how to meditate? It becomes a werewolf. It becomes a werewolf.
I was
Aware.
raising my hand so fast. I was like, no, not the jokes.
I saw your hand, by the way, but I still committed to the joke.
It kept going.
What's up, Melissa?
Can I actually give like a slight bit of feedback on
Mhm.
a really nitpicky thing?
Of course.
Um, could you bring up your profile
Yeah.
really quick? It's not about
1
you,
second.
actually.
Here you go.
It's scroll down just a tiny bit. This particular thing, oh, not that much. Just a little bit. Can I see the stat? Okay. This particular thing has caught me off guard a number of times. So I wonder if it is catching, you know,
Mm-hmm.
anyone who's looking at the profile off guard. When you're going across these stats, it's 99, 97, 58. What? And I realized obviously that that's like your split of virtual and not virtual. But if I'm just looking at it from back here
Oh,
without
I
like
see what you're
looking
saying.
in
You're saying if
closer,
someone's looking at it and they're just seeing the number,
it's
they
like
might feel
big
like,
number. What the hell? You know, and I know like obviously they can look closer and see that it's like a breakdown,
mm-hmm,
but a couple different times, I myself, whose profile this is, has like looked through it. I think mine is more like 75 or something. So it actually looks even more like it's a dropped score somehow.
Mm.
So it is the smallest thing, but just wanted to share that that's like a little startling. So I don't know if there's another thing we could put there and then like put the
No,
breakdown in
I
a
will.
separate.
I will make. This is the first time anyone's ever said that, so that's helpful to get this feedback. So I will add a note. I think Marissa is on here. Marissa, if you could be so kind to add a note in our product roadmap to revisit that, we will bring it up with our team and we'll see what we could do.
Got
It might be only me. If it's only me, that's fine.
Well,
No,
that
it's
well,
more of a
so what?
psychology factor than anything else, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And one of the
Exactly.
things we do, just so you're aware of how we build things out, is we always encourage our users to share everything, no matter how big, no matter how small, because you share it today, right? And then what if someone else shares that with us a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from now? So what we do is when we say, hey, we're going to make a note of it, one of the things that we do internally is we make a note of who said it, when it was said, because a lot of times if we get something with a high enough frequency, we go, hey, this is important. We've got to move this up because right now our roadmap, if I showed you, your brain would explode because it's like hundreds and hundreds of rows deep. And we're always trying to come up with what's the coolest, best thing that we can build. And some things like we're building right now take just a long time to build and they'll be released. And some things are super quick and super like we could do it tomorrow. So feedback like this, to you and to anyone watching live or the recording, if you happen to be watching this recording, nothing too big, nothing too small, because we really want to build something amazing. And we're one of the few, I think one of either the only or one of the few only, I can't really think of it, that generally created a software from the bottom up specifically for our industry. Like there's lots of other great softwares out there where they kind of like leverage other tools, but ours is significantly customized just for us. So the more we get insight, the more we can build it. So when new users come in, they say, this just works so perfectly. And it's because of all of the feedback that we get from folks like you. So thank you. And we will note that. Thank
I'm
you.
assuming you have like a template for how you present the feedback back to the client. And I downloaded the reports and I kind of just gave a link. My question is when you send that link out, it's a link only to their talk and not necessarily a compilation of everybody or
Correct. It's their talk. Yeah. So what I like to do personally, and it's very much a personal thing. It's not like there is one way to do what I'm about to
Mhm.
say. I like to download the data. Do you know how to download the data and the testimonial images?
If there's a download button, yes.
Let me show you
Yes.
real quick, just so
I,
you know. I got your back. I'd rather you know for sure than not
I'm
know. Okay.
whatever that was available to download, I downloaded. So
Okay.
yeah,
Great. So like I gave a talk virtually
let me go
yesterday,
and look at
actually.
mine that I did
Um,
recently.
So if you go to share right
Right.
here on the report, this is where you can download your report. So you click here, and this gets you the data
That's just
right
for the
here.
session.
That's just for the session. And then
Okay.
if you want to go to any individual testimonial, you can click here and go to download shareable testimonial, and then click to download, and it'll download that. If you're doing it on
Okay,
your
so it's
mobile phone,
separate.
what's
Okay.
that?
The testimonials are not added to the downloaded report.
Yeah, if you hit download, hold on, let me just share my screen here. So if you this three dots lets you download just this one.
Right.
If you go to share and go to download testimonials, if it's too long of a testimonial, it only put the first one on there. But if you use our star feature, like for example, this one is a short one, so I'm going to star
Okay.
this one. And then this is a short one too. I'm going to star that one, and then I'll star one more. So there's three short ones that I hit the star function on.
I
Now
see.
those three are at the top. So when I hit download testimonials, it'll take all three of those.
Oh, because it's just grabbing a snippet. Okay. Got it.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but what you're doing is exactly right. What I like to do is download this quantitative data, and then I like to grab one or two of my favorite testimonials, and I like to embed those into the email. So when I
Mm-hmm.
send the email, I say, here's a quick snapshot of the data. Here's a couple
Okay.
of my favorite testimonials. Click on this link to see what everyone had to say. And that's what I like to do because I usually assume people scan an email. and they
never.
may or may not click and go look at it. So I'd rather them see that data up front and like.
So when they're clicking that link, it's only for their talk. So there's not necessarily a compilation of, let's say you've been talking for a year and you have 20 of speaking engagements. It doesn't give the client an overall like perception of,
If
based on.
if you want to give them that overall perception, you would
Mhm.
click here and go to your public profile. Now,
Okay.
on your
Pretty-
public profile, this data right here, this is all of the data.
That's the compilation. Got it.
This is the compilation, and then if you scroll down, this is your top 5 total, and then here is where they can click onto any one of your past events. So
Oh,
you
so
can
if you
either
share,
share.
oh wow, so if you share that public profile, it shares everything. Got it.
Exactly, right. So you're
Okay.
going like, here's what I've done. Here's like, here's I can
Here's
either share the individual or I can share everything.
Are you pretty open about sharing that public profile to potential new clients?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
whole mindset is like, hey, listen, I could fake the funk once, I could
Yeah.
fake the funk twice, but if I'm consistently getting high scores,
Right. Right.
um, the odds of
And
me doing that for you are pretty good,
that's
So
cool.
I like to lean into it as much as I can.
I mean, you're the owner, so I feel like you have
I mean,
to.
I built it in a way that ideally I would use it as a
You
speaker.
would want to lean. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I only got 2 in there, but hey, once I got 3, then 3's the magic number.
Three is
So
a magic number. You get 3 and you'll be good.
after that, everything is all fair game.
Awesome. Thank you. Ramsey, what's up?
Hey, Arel, it's Courtney.
Oh,
Question.
it said Ramsey on the first
I
one.
know. I don't know why I reversed that. I need to actually fix it. So
Okay.
I'm curious on the public profile. I know you don't currently have a way for like a meeting planner to go out and use it as a search function, kind of like an e-speakers.
Mhm.
I'm wanting to know if that's on the roadmap.
So right now we don't have a way to search that. If maybe, I mean, we can add anything to the roadmap if that's something you're saying, hey, I would love that. So right now our goal is to turn our profile kind of like a this is not a good analogy, but you remember back in the day when MySpace was popping and people were like, yo, here's my MySpace page. I don't know how old you are. You may be too young to remember the MySpace
Oh
days.
no, I remember it.
Okay. So the MySpace was like, hey, this is like basically a mini website that you can build. We want to create that public profile as something that people can either use as a supplement to their current website, or for some speakers, it is like, hey, it's got my pictures, it's got my videos, it's got all of it in one place. So that's what we're building towards right now, but we're happy to figure out how to make it useful for our users as best we can.
It seems like that would be something people would automatically go to if the meeting planner is on board, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah, just an idea.
We will make a note. We will figure it out. Thank you very
Like
much.
a quick question. Do you have your trainings in 2023 out on the resources, like the ones you did back in the day?
We should. Is there a specific one or in general that you're looking for?
I wanted to recommend to my friend who's also a pro user your keynote structure one that you did like back in 2023, I think in the spring. So if it's
Yeah.
available out there and you want to put it out there, I know of someone who would love to see it.
Yeah, it should be. I will. Marissa, could you do me a favor and make a note? Because I don't know if I could just easily find that one and pull it up, but it should be there. And if it's not, we will.
Yeah. And I said spring. I think it's more like August. I'm looking back at my notes and I have them dated August 23rd of 23. So
August 23rd. All
and
right.
your Zoom account, maybe it's out there still.
Yeah, well, we definitely have it. It's just finding it. So,
Thank you.
Making a note right now.
oh, I think I have it.
Oh, you have it, Arel?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got it. You said August 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the link right there.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cool.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And if that's not the one in question, let me know and I'll get you. But what you want to do for those types of things is go over to pro courses. So there's resources, and then under resources in the community is courses, and that's where we kind of organize all of our past trainings. Cool. All right. Thanks so much. other preguntas, questionrinos before we go? As you're thinking of your questions, please make sure to upload photos and upload videos to your speaker toolkit to make your profile look a little more robust, whether you have one speaking engagement on your public profile or two, adding your speech topics along with video, adding your pictures. It's going to make your profile look really, really good, especially if you are doing any kind of outbound work or doing any call for proposals or anything of that nature. It's really going to help make it more robust. So make sure to do that. It's a cool feature that you'll have access to.
Mr. Moody, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Um, in piggybacking off you talking about adding pictures and videos, what's your formula when doing that? Do you use some headshots? Do you use some action shots? Like
That's
what's
exactly right. Yeah. So I'm a big advocate of you want to mix up like what I call lifestyle photos and speaking photos, right? So on my public profile, I got a couple of like image, like this is an image here, which is really good. This is kind of like me, these are lifestyle photos, just kind of me headshotty. And then there's pictures of me actually on stage. So I recommend a mix of that. The mixed percentage, there's no like specific like give me, you can upload up to 10 images and videos. So I would recommend for sure, if you have a speaker demo reel, upload the speaker demo reel. Upload 1 to 2 headshots, and then at least 1 to 2 good photos of you speaking. And if you've got any, zoom in photos of you on stage, any zoom out photos with a big room, I like to kind of show a diversity of photos that kind of one shows my personality. So I'm a little more like smiley. I'm not like a very serious speaker. So a lot of my pictures are a little more goofy, a little bit more fun. Because ideally, what you want to do when you choose your photos and your videos is more of what is the temperature, what is the feeling somebody will get when they look at this. There are some speakers that they have like real serious faces and their arms folded because they're like really serious and about business. So if you're a smiley happy person generally, I wouldn't recommend putting in that, really serious headshot, even if it's a really, really great photo, because it may be sending mixed signals to the marketplace. So a couple of good photos that are headshots, a couple of good photos that are on stage, your demo video, your sizzle reel, and that's perfect. And if you have 10, great. If you've got 4, that's also fine. You have up to 10, but you don't have to feel the need to fill that space if you don't have stuff that you feel really represents you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Then a follow-up question. The I I put in the community and you responded, and just a clarifying question, because I had asked about like if we offer, like I got the slides that you sent from the review, and if we offer other services, should we put that in the speaker profile thing, or you wouldn't suggest it?
When you say other services, like one-on-one coaching, or what
Or
kind of
like
services are you referencing?
like workshops or professional development and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would put that in the I think I mentioned putting it like in the title of the talk, like, available as a workshop. I would also put it in your about section on your public profile. If you go, let me share my screen here. So again, if you click here and you go to your public profile, and by the way, if anyone, their public profile is not showing up, all you've got to do is go into your settings right here on the left, and then just make sure that your profile visibility is set to public. So if yours is set to private, it won't show up. So if you want it to show up and you don't see it, just make sure it's in the public. So once you go to your profile, you can do a couple of things. Option number 1 is in the about section. You can put, available for keynotes, workshops, professional developments. You can put that in the about section. And then when you go to your talks and then you go to your speech topics, if you want to, like, I'll just edit this, I can put keynote, workshop, or training, so I can add something like that. Just make sure to hit update speech topic. So it updates, and then boom, it just throws it right in there. So those are the 2 things that I would do to do that. And in the future, we probably will allow for like a tag to be added to each one. Keynote, workshop, training, facilitation. So we're looking into doing that. That's on our roadmap, but it's just not available at this current juncture.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help. All right, who wants to get the last question before we go? If not, I could do some more dad jokes.
How do I get the trends document?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. You done sent me the thing. Hold on. You have access to the chat right now.
Yes.
I'm gonna upload it. Do. Thank you. Send. The internet is interneting right now. In like 12 seconds, you should have it in your DM in the chat. If it doesn't come in, I'll let you know when it's official. It's loading right now.
I believe it's also in your inbox also, if you want to check there. I
Oh, thank you, Marissa. Marissa's
when you put the review in the chat.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Thank you.
Marissa's too good. So it's in the Zoom DM and it's in your Talkadot DM. So if you go to your Talkadot, go to the community and go to your messages, you'll find it there as well because Marissa is the best.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thanks for the info today too. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. We are here to help. We are here to help. Well, thank you all for joining this week's AMA. It's always wonderful to meet with you and to connect with you live. Make sure to click on your speaker toolkit and add your photos and videos. Make sure to add your speech topics. Really make that profile useful. Use it for outbound. Put it in your email signature. It's going to be a really, really great, valuable resource for you. So thank you all for joining. If you liked today's session, my name's Arel Moodie. If you disliked it, my name's Nick Zizi. Y'all have a good day.